You know when you realize that you're absolutely cooked? I mean, there's the pot with boiling water, and you're the lobster that's been thrown alive into the pot. You know, I grew up in the 90s as a kid, thinking of a post apocalyptic ending to our future where Skynet and the machines would take over and we would have a war between man and machine. Little did I imagine there was actually going to be more like a scene out of Idiocracy, except that instead of watching the show, oh my balls, you're interacting with a female AI and it's taking over every second of your daily life. That's right. I really think that there are a lot of case uses for AI where it can be a beneficial tool to aid in productivity or to help you learn something or to walk you through the steps of learning something. But it is undeniable that there are also a lot of downsides to this technology that, if gone unchecked, can spell doom for us all. I know this might sound like a hyperbole, but bear with me here. I'm going to talk about two specific issues with AI use that are happening right now and are only going to get worse with time. There's a lot that I can focus on, but I really feel like these two are the ones to focus on. The first one is tied to a study that was done by MIT that basically verified something that everybody with a functioning brain could have told you. But still, it's nice to see a graph. It's nice to see studies that verify this with data. And that is to say that people who continuously use AI see a decrease in their cognitive abilities. And what that means is, as people rely more and more on AI to do things for them, to copy and paste the work and not do any of the thinking, that obviously leads them to thinking less, which means that critical thinking goes out the window, which means that basically any cognitive process gets thrown out and instead gets replaced with whatever the AI may tell you, which in a lot of cases is incorrect. It may need you to actually have a critical eye so you can pass over. It may need you to be knowledgeable in the topics that you're researching in order to get those out. This is especially dangerous with little kids. As you know, every generation will find a way to cheat when it comes to studying. That is nothing new to this generation. You know, it happened when you were kids. It happened when your grandparents were kids. There was always a way that people found to be lazy and not do work. That is nothing new. However, at least in the old methods when technology was not as advanced, you still had to do some sort of thought work in order to create your cheat sheets or other things in order to pass your test. And so it required active involvement from the user. You had to create something, some summary, maybe in summarizing the information you were indirectly studying. There was some benefit to it. However, when you let AI do everything for you, and kids are doing this now in school and in college, where every homework assignment, every essay is written by the AI, every math problem is solved by the AI, then the kids are learning nothing from their school sessions. They're also not really practicing any of these things that are going to lead to their brain developing. On top of that, it would seem to me that schools are not really adjusting for this change in technology. I really feel like if the government is not going to step in and regulate this, I really feel like schools should modify their curriculum and the way they approach learning in order to encompass this new use of AI, or even bring AI to their learning environment, but rather than have it give you all the answers and have it be a copy paste thing, have the AI feed the information step by step or as a question and answer process, a way for kids to learn about what the topic is at hand rather than being fed the answers directly. There has to be a way in order to change that into a more productive way of learning. The second danger with AI that is already happening, and it has already happened with many cases before, and that is not only replacing our thinking, it's replacing our emotions and our relationships. A lot of people already have been using AI as their therapist, as their friends, and even worse, there's been cases of people falling in love with their AIs. And this is just when it was just a voice or text on the screen. We're not even talking about the latest developments with like Rock Companions, for example, on X, where you get to have your own little anime waifu that talks back to you. that's going to be an even bigger problem, because then people are really going to lock themselves in and replace all human relationships with a machine. At which point, and this applies to both men and women. So this is the future that we face. Not a future where there's a raging war between humans and machines like in Terminator or even The Matrix, where we're fighting to stay alive, but rather a future where people are just drones. They're drooling morons, and the machines do everything for them, replacing their thoughts, replacing their actions, replacing their very emotional core and relationships, all so they can stay connected in the virtual. And this is a reality that is already happening, and it's only going to get worse. What can we do about it? I don't really know. I don't have the answers. I'm just a cookie with brain leakage. But I'd always love to hear your thoughts down below, so let me know in the comments. I'd be looking out for any suggestions you have. How do you feel about this? Does it make you anxious? Does it make you want to stay here in the present? You wish you had been born into a different era? Let me know. And as always, do all the YouTube things. It helps us out on the channel.